G'day friends, it's Vicky Wright, Independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, Australia. I thought I'd pop on today and share with you a simple card using the Forever Fern stamp set. I hope you can see that and it's not too glary. And along with that, what we're going to be using is our stitched rectangle dies. So you may have different dies and stamp set from what the measurements I gave you yesterday to join me today, but that's okay. We can stamp along together. So what we're going to be using is Magenta Madness base card. It's one of the colours retiring. The Coastal Cabana DSP from the Brights pattern paper. That's got all the Brights colours in it. And we're going to be using basic white. So that's just our what we're going to be using this morning. So it's going to be very basic, which is why I want to keep it, we'll call it Simple Sunday, I don't know. But I wanted to keep it nice and easy and show you what you can create using minimum supplies. Okie dokie. So let's get on with it. So as I said, we're going to be using the Forever Fern. Now this can be used for male or female. It looks great in both. And what we're going to do is grab our DSP, our pattern paper, and we're going to chop that into two pieces, okay, at 1 inch or 1.2, I think it is, in centimetres. Okay, so we've got the two pieces there, just there. And what we're going to do then is, now my basic white, what I've already done is embossed it with the Tastefl Textile 3D embossing folder. Now, I'm a big fan of this embossing folder, and unfortunately it's leaving us. So I want to make the most of it while I can. So then what we're going to do is grab our two pieces of DSP, and we're going to put a little bit of glue on the back of them. Now this is just something I whipped up, well, had an idea this morning, so I'm not sure how it'll look in these colours, but we'll give it a go. So then what we're going to do is just stick this piece about here so that there's a nice even space on either side, and we want it to be straight too. Okay, I think that looks pretty straight, just bear with me. Yep, I think it's the pattern that makes it look a bit crooked. Then we'll take our, g'day Kathy, how are you? Then what we're going to do is take our second piece of DSP. Let's get rid of that bit of glue. And we're just going to stick that just above it. Now, I sort of like my pattern to try and match in, as much as I can, but it's up to you. Okay, so that is our, basically nearly our base card, or this layout of our base card, of our card. Then what we're going to do, stick the, oh, I should have done this first, but that's all right. Put this onto our base card. Just like that. Just having that little bit of embossing in the background just takes away that blank look of the basic white. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. You could stamp over the back of your basic white if you wanted to. Then what we're going to do is bring in our piece of basic white, which you should have the measurements on, and I've already done mine. So what I did, I die cut 3 stitched rectangles using this size, okay? So while we're here, so I dug out that side, and then I've die cut a shape with the smaller size for our sentiment, okay? So these are the 2 that I have die cut ahead of time. So that's 1, 2 and 3. So I've cut 3 of them actually. A little bit of glue on my finger. Then I also did our shape. So I'll show you the shape when it comes to it. So what we're going to do, make sure our dies are facing up the right way. Whoops. And as I said, we're using Coastal Cabana, Polished Pink and So Saffron. Now we could have all those colours stamped if we wanted to, but I'm just going to keep the same colour, and that's going to be the So Saffron. So what I'm going to do now is ink that up. I've just grabbed an image from our Forever Fern stamp set, and I'm just randomly placing the image onto these rectangles. Okay. And that's our 3. Now, as I said, you could do 1 of each colour. It would still work. I've just used those colours. Oh, actually, that's polished pink. It shouldn't be polished pink. It should be Magenta Madness. There you go. Those and that. So Magenta Madness, Coastal Cabana and So Saffron. Okay. And all we're going to do now is adhere these to the front of our card. Now I'm using the adhesive sheets to do this, only because they fell out of the drawer. And I've just cut them back slightly smaller than the pieces of rectangles, okay? Just makes it easier to use. Or you could use your Stampin' Dimensionals. I'm finding that the adhesive sheets give a lot of support. Okay, so we'll just do our 3rd one. Just like that. Now what we're going to do is try and center this onto our base card, onto the card front, so that it's nice and centre. All three evenly spaced out. Just like that. So what I'll do is start off with our middle one. Now just bear with me, it may be off camera, but I just need to try and get this in the middle. Now when I stick these down, I don't press straight away onto the adhesive sheet or dimensionals. I will let them sit there for a little bit, just in case I have to move them and they're not straight. Okay. And that looks pretty straight to me. So then what I will do is just gently press there. So then what we're going to do is bring in our sentiment shape that we've previous die cut. Now I'm using a shorter sentiment, so what I did was I run it through our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and then we have a long shape that width. G'day Anna, how are you? So we have a long shape that way. Then what I did was put it back in and cut it off at the end just like that. So you've got that much of basic white hanging over, but it'll be from this side. Okay, and I just washi tape that down and run it through again, and that's what you'll get. Okie dokie. So what we're going to do is now stamp our sentiment, and it's going to be in Magenta Madness. And I'm just using, I might just use this one actually. Yep. I'm just going to use the Hello from the stamp set. Now I'll just bring it down here so that I know I can get it nice and straight, I hope. So it may be off camera. So just bear with me. And that is our shape there. Oh, can you see that? Okay. So we've stamped our hello. Now what we're going to do now is put dimensionals on the back. And I've just grabbed a gash piece of the adhesive sheet, but you could still use your dimensionals. And I'm just going to put that on the back. And we're just going to put this, I might put it up the top actually, just about there. And that looks pretty straight to me. Yep. So basically we're nearly finished our card. So now what we're going to do is add our bling. You've got to have bling on your card. Well, sometimes. And I think we will use the resin dots, or playing with patterned resin dots. So put one just there. One about there. And we'll put a small one about there, I think. So that is our card. But before we go, what I'm going to do is grab another piece of basic white, ink our image up again with Saffron, put a little bit of adhesive on the back, and stick this inside, just like that. Okay, then we'll grab our envelope, and all I'm going to do is the same thing, just with the Saffron, or you could do it with any colour you like, and stamp the front of our envelope with the same Saffron. So that is our card for today. Now, I'd like to thank you also too for filling out our poll. I'm going to go through this week and try and sort out a few things so that we know what we're doing, and hopefully I hope to do 2 videos a week, mixing it up a bit, but with what you've wanted to see. So that is our first card. Now, I also whipped another card up just before, especially for the males. So that's another way of doing the same layout, one for the female, one for the male, but with male colours, just chopping and changing our colours out a little bit. Okay, so thanks for watching me, and we'll see you Thursday. Okie doke, enjoy your day. See ya. Hooray.